let's end it with this, and then we can call it for the first offseason DTF pod that we've had this summer. I want one team and one player that you're the most fascinated with, and you're the most intrigued by heading into
Ooh.
next season. I'll go first while you guys have a chance to kind of look at it and think it a little bit. For me, the team is NC State and Will Wade because of what they put together, because of who he is, because of the storylines that you mentioned, Fan, when it comes to the dynamics within the triangle down there. I think that Darian Williams has a chance to end up being an All-American caliber player for NC State this season. And I mean, I said this to multiple people down there, but I don't think that there's a better fit between a coach, a fan base, and a program than what Will Wade will bring to NC State and that fan base and the way that those guys kind of operate down there and the way that they kind of think about basketball. I think it's going to be perfect. I can't wait to see that kind of play out. And for me, the player that I'm most interested in, we've kind of covered this ground a little bit, but Bryce Hopkins at St. John's hasn't played
Mhm.
for pretty much like 22 months, right? He tore his ACL in January of 2023. No, January of 2024. And has played 3 games since then, sat out a bunch, had the whole recruiting saga over the course of a year about, is he staying at Providence? Is he going to Georgetown? I was surprised he's going to St. John's. I think St. John's ceiling is somewhat capped as a team this year if Bryce Hopkins does not get to the level that he was when he was at like the Big East Player of the Year kind of a guy. He needs to be that level of a basketball player for St. John's to be a team that is going to be competing for Final Fours and national championships. So that's what I'm most fascinated to see this year. Fana, what do you got?
Wow. There's so many good ones, but to me, I'm going to go with player JT Toppin and Texas Tech and that awesome fan base there. Can Toppin lead them to a Final Four? Can he be that type of guy for this team? It feels like all the pieces are there for the Red Raiders to be right in the equation, right in the thick of things. Nobody's been able to touch Houston at the top of the Big 12. Like, think
Mm-hmm.
about that. Houston's been in the league 2 years. Nobody's touched them. You know, they have a couple of losses. One of the teams that beat them last year was Texas Tech. So it's a little bit outside the box. You know, is it the obvious ones are there? I don't want to steal from Terrence Oglesby, but I think that, and not to say that JT's not, but I just think when you look at Texas Tech and you look at the job that Grant McCaslin's already done, to me, that would be the player with program. There's expectations. In the previous climate, he's already pro. You're back. You're ready. Obviously, Darion Williams is no more. Speaking of your Will Wade storyline, so that would be the player, and then it's program, right? Is the other question?
Yeah. What team?
Man, I think for me, the team that we have not talked about on this pod. So again, I'm going a little bit different than the top of the country, but it's Alabama because we're wondering here, will the Crimson Tide be able to stay on this level that they've been on? You know, the offseason was a little bit more of a mixed bag. You know, let's face it. So I'm intrigued to see Jaleel Bethea.
I was about to bring that up.
And
I was
how
about to bring him up. Yeah.
And how was he your player?
No, he wasn't my player, but I'm staying in the SEC. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I think Jaleel Bethea and how that all works out with the Crimson Tide, and if Nate Oates can stay on this level that he's been on, because look, he's been on an incredible level with this program, and they've established a standard, and he's proven that he's one of the best coaches in the country. But I think I'm just intrigued to see, like, you know, they're not in consensus top tens. They're kind of outside there, but that doesn't mean that can't change. But right now they're hanging around the teens. And so what do we see from, you know, an Aiden Holloway? And in the front court, they brought in Noah Williamson from Bucknell. I'm intrigued to see if the Crimson Tide can stay on this level.
So we're going coach, player, and then program. Coach, I've already brought up Jay Lucas, but I'll throw in Sean Miller at Texas. I think that him grabbing Simeon Wilcher from St. John's, can he get the most out of him? I think Wilcher's really talented. I'm not surprised he transferred. That was kind of the theme of him so far, but or the theme going into college rather. So we'll see how that goes. How Sean's able to kind of mold him how he wants to. Player Donovan Dent to UCLA.
Yes.
How does that go with Mick Cronin? That's a big one. I think it's going to be really fun. You can hand him the ball and just say, figure it out. And he'll figure it out. He's that good. Last but not least, program. This was going to be kind of crazy, but Purdue. I mean, like, not only do they bring back those guys, not only do they bring back a team that was just so good all season long, but now you get, how you pronounce it? Oscar Kloof or Clough? Clough. And then Omer Mayer, guys, it comes to a point to where, like, how's it going to work with Fletcher Lawyer and CJ Cox already there and Braden Smith when Omer Mayer might be right there with Braden Smith as like the most talented guy on that roster.
You think he's that good?
Yeah, I think he's that good. He's so strong. He's so physical. He's going to fit the Big Ten perfect. Just put him freaking out there. He didn't just play well in these World Cup and European championships. Like, he dominated.
Well, then if he's that good, they should be the number one team in the country.
They should be the number one team in the country. He is that good. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Not that Paint won't handle it. Paint will obviously handle it. Paint's Hall of Fame coach. But where do you who are your best lineups at the end of the game? Because Omer Mayer is going to be in the conversation. I'm telling you, that guy was so much fun to watch. Like an embarrassment of riches there in West Lafayette. It's going to be crazy. They are very, very good. And there's going to be games where Omer Mayer hits 6 threes and just completely takes over a second half against like a top tier Big Ten team.
Rob, can I submit and we almost forgot. There's going to be a tag team in college basketball this year. It's the Ivisic brothers, and it's Illinois. And that's one that you can't forget because I think that's a top 20 team, and I think Daddy Brad has figured out a way. He's gone international. He's gone international.
Top Brad.
I am fascinated to see how all this international talent, T.O., you're obviously a savant for the international game. Like, they got Stojakovic as well. I'm just fascinated to see how that all pans out.
It's going to be interesting. Bratislav Undervich. Like, that is where we're at.